Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I'm Batman.
That movie is awful! Iron Man, directed by Jon Favreau, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard, came out in 2008, the year of the reboots of the Marvel series. These movies some were good and some were bad. Iron Man is the worst of the bad. It is awful. This movie is absolute crap. The writers have no idea about the character they're writing, especially the end of the movie. He doesn't even admit he's Iron Man until Civil War, which happened years and years and years after Iron Man's origin story. What happened here in this movie is supposedly Iron Man's origin story, which has been taken from Vietnam and taken to the terrible, terrible Middle Eastern country of Evil's Bad, where some sort of terrorist organization kidnaps him and holds him for ransom. And apparently Mandarin's still Asian, but controls
a cave!
A vaguely Middle Eastern terrorist organization that we don't even know anything about because they don't tell us anything in this movie, because apparently the director and writers don't like exposition, which would explain anything about the story. Iron Man, when he first appeared, was a Republican superhero who ended up going to Vietnam because he was a weapons developer. And a landmine blew up and he was injured, and then he had this Asian friend who helped him build something to keep him alive and prevent shrapnel from going in his heart and killing him. In this one, it's kind of the same, except he's locked in a cave where he grows a ridiculous beard, ends up looking a lot like Brad Pitt did a couple days ago at the award show. But he ends up staying there for a while, he gets haggard looking, and he builds this suit of armor.
It's impossible. Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave! With a box of scraps!
What they did in this movie was cut out a lot of the characterization that would have made Iron Man and Tony Stark the sort of Republican superhero that he was in the comic books. Like most exposition in movies these days, it's kind of shoved to the wayside for him to become the bad superhero that everybody wants him to be. It isn't even Tony Stark as Iron Man, it's Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. It's like, look at me, I'm amazing, look at me, I'm Iron Man, I'm shooting missiles from my shoulder.
I'm just not the hero type. Yeah, I can fly.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave! With a box of scraps!
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
I'm Iron Man. Look at me. I can kill you with my hand. You see that hand? You see that hand? I'm gonna kill you with it because I'm Iron Man. That's how awesome I am. Ah! Somewhere in the Tony Stark I love from the comic books. But what they ended up doing now is they just turned him into something else. And if you even look at the trailer for Iron Man 2, you can see that they took him even further from the Iron Man that we know him and love from the comic books. So please, one of these days, make a comic book movie where the writers actually read the comic book before slaughtering the characters. Please? Just a little bit? And this has been a Hammer review of the movie Iron Man from 2008.